Before we get this video started, I'd like to wish the families of WWE legend China as well as pop sensation Prince their family condolences. As you guys, if you guys are not aware, they passed away, and just wanted to wish my condolences to their family and take a moment of silence for their honor. So, let's a little moment of silence here for just a moment. Alright, so yeah, like I said, may they rest in peace. But yeah, this video is about Game of Thrones Season 3. Season 6 premieres this Sunday. Of course, if you've been on my channel for the past couple days, I've been doing a Game of Thrones season marathon where I've been reviewing every single season that's happened so far. And today just happens to be Season 3. So without further ado, jump into the video. Season 3, of course, this is the Blu-ray edition of it. Like I said in Season 2, if you watched it, I have Seasons 1 and 3 on Blu-ray and 2 and 4 are on DVD. So this is a Blu-ray version of it. I have a very nice cover here. With the Game of Thrones, a complete third season, with the nice dragon right there. It looks like Drogon flying, with the three swords right there, and you take it off. It's a very cool slip-on cover, the best one they've done so far, in my opinion. So it's a nice little slip-on for that. Nothing on the back, just, you have the dragon on the slip cover. So here it is with the swords on the cover. Here's the spine, what it looks like on your shelf. In the back, once again, as always, the Iron Throne. And here's, of course, the disc itself. About this one, you actually do have the DVD copy right here as well, which has 2 discs, so it has, there's episodes on each disc right there. So the Blu-ray is a smart one to go because you get both the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital copy, so I don't know why you wouldn't get the DVD or the Blu-ray for this season. But as you see right there, you have Tyrion Lannister right there in the front. There's a spine, once again. Then you have Cersei Lannister. You open it up, you got Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen. There's Robb Stark, and then Jaime Lannister, and of course you have all the discs with the artwork in the back. There's disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4, and disc 5. And of course you have the inserts. If I can get it out. There's just the code for the digital copy. Here's the insert. As always, you have the episode guide. You open it up, so there is the episode guide right there. And you open it up, you got a nice picture of the Iron Throne. So it's pretty nice. And then on the back, there are the Blu-ray exclusives. So if you want to pause and read, go ahead if you'd like. And yeah, that's pretty much what the Blu-ray looks like for Game of Thrones Season 3. Let me get all this back together now. Let's get Tyrion right there. Let's put him up there. Put the Blu-ray casing and everything right there, and let's put the DVD right there. And let me just move the camera back a little bit so it all looks nice. And there we go. So that's what you're going to look like for the rest of the video. If you want to click on another tab and listen, go ahead. But yeah, Season 3 was a very eventful season. Definitely continue on the momentum of Season 2. Just a lot of things happening. You didn't get a lot of action, but you got a lot of progression. A lot of characters in this season changed, so you did see a lot of change and a lot of characters evolving this season as well. And it's had a nice pacing to it. There were some episodes where not a lot was going on, but the story was progressing as, even though a lot didn't happen, it was progressing as it was going. So, Season 3 was a great season. I would say it is my third favorite season. Nope, even though it's appropriate that it is a third season, so it's my third favorite season so far to happen. And just, it's a great season. Really enjoyed. Like I said, it definitely carried momentum of Season 3, or Season 2, sorry, and you definitely saw a lot of change in it as well. So, great season. In Season 3, you saw Jon Snow meet Mance Rayder, who is the king beyond the wall, trying to prove himself as a wildling, so you end up meeting Mance Rayder for the first time. Marjorie and Joffrey, was pretty much getting closer together, because in Season 2, Joffrey pretty much dropped Sansa as his wife-to-be in favor of Marjorie Tyrell. So, you see them pretty much getting closer and becoming more intimate. Davos survived the Blackwater attack, or the Blackwater battle. So you saw him, pretty much get rescued and him come back to Dragonstone to serve Stannis. But in the process, he tried to kill Melisandre because, Stannis blames him for not bringing Melisandre because he didn't want Melisandre to be there during the battle. So Stannis blamed him, so he tried to pretty much assassinate her, in which he failed. And, for that, Stannis imprisoned him. And then you had Daenerys arrive at Espar, being saved by Ser Barristan. So Ser Barristan, who served the king, pretty much quit because Joffrey pretty much released him, and so he ends up finding Daenerys and then serving her instead. So you got nice progression between the two of them. You saw Jaime Lannister and Brienne of Tar, who are on their way back to King's Landing on the River Run, get captured by Bolton men. They're captured on the bridge. Robb Stark, this season, Robb Stark, you pretty much, in Season 2, you saw the rise of Robb Stark. In Season 3, you really see the demise and fall of Robb Stark in this season. Robb Stark just completely really changes his mindset, just being a married man now. His thoughts and his decisions are overcome by love. So a lot of his decisions are pretty terrible in the season, perfectly honest. So once you watch Season 2 and Season 3, you're kind of like, wow, Robb really screwed himself over. But, Robb Stark met up with the Tullys, who are Catelyn's family, because Catelyn's father died. So he ends up meeting up with the Tullys to, go to his funeral and whatnot. So you saw Robb meet up with the Tullys. Arya Stark is captured by the Brotherhood of Banners, which, when they're out and about eating some food, the Hound is captured. So the Hound ends up identifying Arya Stark, which she didn't identify herself at first, so they were surprised to find out that she was a Stark, so they try to keep her because she was a Stark. Sansa, had to tell Marjorie about Joffrey, her and her grandmother, tell the horror stories that Joffrey would do to her. And then you had Theon, who was betrayed by his men last season. He was being tortured in an undisclosed location, so you saw him being tortured. Robb Stark attends, like I said, his grandfather's funeral, Hoster Tullys. You saw Jon Snow, scale the wall with the wildlings, preparing to climb the wall. You saw the surviving Night's Watch members who are in the snow make it back to Craster's Keep, trying to survive and stay there to, keep warmth and survive. Theon, who was freed by an anonymous person when he was captured, he was freed by him and tried to escape. Daenerys tries to get the Unsullied and Aspar. He's trying to buy him, but the guy is not buying it, so she pretty much promises, hey, I'll give you one of my dragons for the Unsullied, and he agrees to it. You saw Locke, who serves the Boltons, one of the men that captured Jaime and Brienne. Ended up chopping off Jaime's Lannister's sword arm, or sword hand, so his right hand's gone, he had chopped off. So he's not really the swordsman he used to be. Theon ended up being brought back to where he was tortured. The guy who freed him pretty much was playing mind games with him. Freed him, then brought him back to where he was captured at. So he ends up messing around with him. Bran Stark, of course, on the chase for the three-eyed raven. So he's you saw him progressing to try and meet the three-eyed raven with the I forgot the two he was with name, Trojan or Jojen, and I forgot I know their last name is Reed, but I forgot what the other girl's name is. So excuse me for that. Lord Commander Moment and Crasper are murdered in Crasper's Keep. The surviving Night's Watch men, majority of them, just got fed up with starving and pretty much being there. So they end up, pretty much going on a riot and killing everyone in sight and killing Lord Commander as well as Crafter at the Keep, which you saw Sam and Gilly escape, and which you saw Sam kill a White Walker, by the way, which is the first time that happened. And you had the Hound versus Beric, who if Hound won, he had to take Arya and leave, which he did win. He ended up beating Beric. Tywin Lannister promised to marry Tyrion to Sansa and Cersei to Sir Loras. So that was a mix that was going to go happen. You saw Jaime and Brienne bond closer together. Robb Stark ended up executing one of his bannermen, Lord Karstark, because Karstark murdered two Lannister boys who had nothing to do with anything. And Robb Stark, in order to pretty much punish him, he executed him even though he shouldn't have. He should have kept him a prisoner till at least the war was over, or at least till they got to King's Landing or whatever. But Robb executed him, which led to the Karstark men leaving, so a big chunk of Robb Stark's army left him because of that execution of Lord Karstark. You saw Missandra get Gentry, who was one of Robert's bastards, so she ended up buying him off of the Banners Without Brotherhood, or Banners Brotherhood. You end up seeing Edmure Tully agree to marry one of the Frey's daughters, because now with Robb Stark's army, pretty much cut in half, he needs to rebuild his army and needs a bridge to cross. So he needs to go to the Twins Tower, which he has heat with Walter Frey because he promised to marry one of his daughters, but ended up, pretty much marrying Talisa instead. So in order to make it up, Robb was able to arrange one of his uncles to marry one of Walter Frey's daughters in return, so then preparing that relationship in that sense. So Robb was hoping to, get help from Walter Frey in that sense. And then you have Jon Snow, him and, Ingrid and some of the wildlings climbed the wall. So they made it to the wall and, saw a nice moment with those two. And you definitely saw their relationship deepen a lot between Jon Snow and Ingrid. Their relationship pretty much came into a relationship. So they got real close. They fell in love. They had sex, the whole 9 yards. So they were pretty much a couple at that point. Talisa announces to Rob that she's pregnant with her child. So Rob's really happy about that. Theon, the man that is revealed to be torturing Theon, is none other than Ramsay Snow, who is Roose Bolton's son. Roose Bolton is, Robb Stark's pretty much main bannerman. So, Ramsay's pretty much torturing Theon, perhaps on behalf of the Boltons and the Starks, kinda. And you saw Jaime save Brienne. He left Brienne to go to King's Landing, but he didn't feel right, so ended up going back, and they ended up pretty much torturing Brienne by throwing her in a pit with a bear. And, Jaime was able to save her and take her back to King's Landing, so that was a nice thing of him to do. And then you ended up, showing the wedding between Tyrion and Sansa. They got married, but they didn't consummate the marriage because they didn't be wed in the bed that night. And, Tyrion pretty much told her, like, whenever you're ready, you're ready. You don't got to do it now, just whenever you want. So their marriage was never really official because in Game of Thrones, the wedding is only official really if you, have sex after the marriage or after the ceremony. And then you had Stannis, trying to sacrifice Gendry because, the whole blood magic. He was trying to sacrifice him in order to help him. And then you had Daenerys meet the second sons, being more notably being Daario and Naharis. Of course, he ends up becoming a big character of Daenerys later on in the series. And then you have Sam and Gilly, arrive at Castle Black. Arriving at the wall, trying to go back to Castle Black. And then you saw Jon Snow betray the wildlings. He had to they wanted to prove he was a wildling by killing an innocent man. Jon Snow pretty much betrays them and ends up, having a big fight with them on the outside. And, Bran was there watching them have as it happened because he was in the tower hiding next to him. So, he had a brief little moment with Bran. Well, he didn't have a moment, but you saw Bran watch over Jon during that moment. And then, of course, you had the most notable thing to happen in the season, or could be the biggest thing to happen in the season, which was the Red Wedding. Of course, Robb Stark was able to repair the relationship with Walder Frey, but he didn't. The Red Wedding comes, and Robb Stark, Talisa, Catelyn, and majority of the Stark men were slaughtered at the Red Wedding. Robb Stark dies. Huge surprise. Robb Stark was one of my favorite characters, but like I said in the beginning of the video, Season 3 was the demise of Robb Stark, and that was, that was it. Episode 9, the Red Wedding happens, and he gets slaughtered by Walder Frey's men. And, it was a big moment. It's arguably the biggest thing to happen in the series so far, being the Red Wedding. Just a huge massacre and such a... Like, when you watch it, you can feel it in your stomach, just your stomach fall in a pit, like, wow, like, this is really happening. So it was definitely a huge moment to happen. Robb Stark being killed, Catelyn pleading for his life, but was unsuccessful, so she ends up being killed as well. So, huge moment of Game of Thrones for that. Like I said, one of, if not the biggest things that happened in the show to date so far. And then, of course, you had the aftermath of the Red Wedding, with the Lannisters finding out. And, then, of course, we found out that the Lannisters were behind the whole thing, behind the assassination of Robb Stark. Roose Bolton, who was the man that killed Robb Stark and betraying him in the process, was awarded Warden of the North on behalf of, killing Robb Stark. Arya Stark was able to see the aftermath of it, so she saw her brother's body walk around with his werewolf on top of his head, so to his head. Arya Stark was able to kill her first men because she ran the guys talking crap about it, about Robb Stark, so she ended up killing her first men. You saw Jaime and Bran finally land in King's Landing, so, you saw the reunion of Jaime Lannister as well as Cersei Lannister at the end of the episode. Jon Snow, who escaped the wildlings, arrived back at Castle Black, so you saw him arrive back there. You saw Davos help Gendry escape Dragonstone, because Stannis wanted to sacrifice him, so Davos was able to help him escape from being sacrificed, which, would lead to Stannis, wanting to head north, so Stannis is, about to be on the move to head to north to Castle Black, to move on to Winterfell, to pretty much battle in the north there. And then you saw Daenerys become, Misa, who was a mother, because she ends up freeing the slaves, and they end up, for that, in favoring her, pretty much loving her, calling her Misa, their mother, because she saved them from being slaves, and, her as a new army, her trying to take over the throne, you just saw her rise to the occasion there. So, that's pretty much it for Season 3. Like I said, a very eventful season. You didn't get a lot of action, besides towards the end of the season, but you saw a lot of progression. Like I said, you saw a lot of character changes. You saw Theon definitely change a lot. You're introduced to new characters like Ramsay Bolton or Ramsay Snow in this season right now. You saw the demise of Robb Stark. So you saw a lot in this season happen. A lot of things were transpiring. So you definitely got a lot in this season. I definitely thought it was a great. It was slow at times, but it was definitely a great progression season for the most part, and definitely a great way to set up season 4 as well. So yeah, that'll do it for my video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Season 4 tomorrow. Then of course season 5 will be the next day, which will lead into Sunday, episode 1 of season 6. I'll be reviewing that episode after it airs, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's my video, guys, for season 3 of Game of Thrones. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, like I said. And thank you guys for watching the video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.